College was a blast. Man, I had a great time. As an undergrad at UCLA, hanging around Westwood with my friends. But I wasn't happy. Deep down inside, I wasn't feeling satisfied. Then I found my turning point. Sir, is this Ramadan Academy? Are you still accepting applicants? Can I still enroll?
Today's the last day. What time do I have to be there to sign up? Right now, I'm on my way.
Where am I going? Where have I been? The month of Ramadan is here again? I'm not focused. I'm not committed.
You're so alone. All you see is night and darkness all around. You feel so helpless. You can't see which way to go. Don't despair and never lose hope.
A season of change. I can't let another one pass me by. What's that Ramadan International Academy sign? I found my way. I'm on the way. I can't miss another day. I can't miss another night.
You can't repent and that it's way too late. You're so confused. Wrong decisions you have made haunt your mind and your heart is full of shame. But don't.
The school of Ramadan is the school of life, so don't let another one pass you by.
'Cause Allah is always by your side. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.
I want to experience Ramadan. I want to live it.
Inshallah, 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 you'll find your way.
Assalamu alaikum, Professor.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wallahi, I'm sorry I'm late. I just found out about Ramadan Academy, and I really want to join.
You came at the last minute. Go register your name and prepare for Ramadan Academy.
Really? All I have to do is register my name? I'm going to go do it right now, Professor.
Turn to Allah, He's never far away. Put your trust in Him, raise your hands and pray. Ooh, yeah, Allah, guide my steps, don't let me go astray. You're the only one who can show me the way. Show me the way.
Confirm.
Show me the way. Show me the way. You feel like you cannot go on. You feel so lost and that you're so alone. All you see is night and darkness all around. You feel so helpless, you can't see which way to go. Don't despair and never lose hope. 'Cause Allah is always by your side. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.
It's your responsibility, it's my responsibility, it's our responsibility. Responsibility is our topic for this lecture. Ramadan teaches us responsibility as well. Ramadan is a school for life. Waking up to be on time for the Fajr prayer, to eat your support, to eat your authority, to perform the ibadah. This is our responsibility. Ramadan also teaches responsibility. So please, your assignment for this lecture is tell me in one example, in one detailed example, how Ramadan has taught you to be more responsible.
Where there's a right, there is no wrong. I always thought we were so strong, but our time just flew right by. There wasn't a chance to say goodbye. I'm so confused. I feel all alone.
Indeed, it's a challenge to keep balance between your job, your work, your daily routine, and the extra ibadah that you need to offer during Ramadan. Fasting, and you feel sometimes hypoglycemic, you feel down, you need a drink of water, especially if you're living in a non-Muslim society. Everybody around you is eating, drinking, taking their coffee break and drinking coffee and cool drinks, and you're fasting. Meanwhile, you have to perform properly, you have to fulfill your job, or otherwise people may assume that fasting means laziness, which is not.
If you work with Muslims, they might have some understanding of the situation of Ramadan. They can let you to go early. They understand. You can even have futur with them and similar stuff. But when you are working in a normal company, like any multinational company or a Hungarian company, they don't really understand, because actually here, for example, in this part of the world, they didn't meet so many Muslims. Most of the people who work with you didn't really meet or work with Muslims before. The people wait for the same performance at work. They don't understand why would you be looking tired, or maybe didn't sleep didn't sleep enough, and that make it a little difficult.
To be honest, the French society is changing, and I think it changes faster in the working field, because obviously, you know, the boss only cares about business, and they try to adapt the day of the fasters to their religious practice, which is very strange for a secular society like France, which is really, you know, really like very harsh towards Muslims. But in the work, you feel like, well, I heard from the brothers, because me, I've been living in France after I became Muslim only 1 year, and then I came to Egypt. But what I read, even in the newspapers, that many companies, they try to adapt the days and to give, you know, 3 hours, or they give you time to pray or to break your fast. I remember when I was in high school, when it was the time to break the fast, the teachers, they used to permit to the Muslims to leave the class and to have something to eat. And people, they really admire Muslims during this period of time in France. And even non-Muslims, they try to copy them.
Many people are affected, and you see that many Christians also look forward to the month of Ramadan, because they find that it's something so nice to see that the colleagues that they are working with in the working class, and that, you know, they always say that you find many of them say that I want to try out this fast.
Work and ibadah it should first of all not be seen as two separable things. You should be seen that work is part of ibadah. Having said that, we also recognize that Ramadan is the month of worship. So the month of Taraweeh, the month of Tahajjud, the month of Qiyam al-Layl, the month of Quran. So we need to keep in our mind that this month we need to make as much ibadah as possible, as well as work at the same time. But it should not be either or. We should have, alhamdulillah, we've been able to develop a system on Project Muslim where we say that, you know what, if you need to manage your energy levels, you need to manage your focus levels so that you can become more productive during work and during ibadah. So it's not a catch, it's not impossible to bring the two together, but it is hard, it's not easy. That's definitely an issue there.
I just can't find.
We need to be proactive Muslims. We need to move away from laziness. We find that this disease, this disorder is in the Ummah.
You'll always be so special to me. In this world you'll always live as a memory. Whoa, but yet your smile still lingers in my mind. And yet
Sheikh Abu Hamza, I want to take you back. I forgot to mention, obviously you reverted to Islam, so can you tell us a story about the early days in your first Ramadan?
Yeah.
When you had mentioned you were training during Ramadan. Go ahead.
Yeah. You know, in 2001, I accepted Islam, and then I had my first Ramadan. It was at this time in winter, alhamdulillah. You know, and you know, we had 2 times a day training. In the morning at 10 o'clock and at 5 o'clock. Yes. So it was for me like I was so afraid because I never had this Ramadan. So I woke in the morning up and I drank 2 liters of water. Yes, because 2 times training, you know. Normally I lose in one training session 1 liter water or 1 until 2 liter waters. So I drank 2 liter water and I was drinking and then later on when we had in the evening training, you know, the sunset was very early. So immediately at the banana in between the training.
Just before the time of the futur, for 1 or 2 hours, I like to do sports. 1 or 2 times I tried to do it in the morning because there was some kind of sport event and I wanted to do it. But that was not really a good idea. I really had a bad day after that.
The month of Ramadan is something that we wait for every year. When it comes, we actually celebrate it. People think because we're fasting that we should dread it, but we actually celebrate the month because it's the month in which the Quran was revealed. So everybody gets excited. We fast from sun up to sundown. So no water, no food, no nothing. And my mother was like, when we were younger, we were like, oh, there's no way we can play sports and fast. She was like, we can't play sports. And we're like, well, we're going to play sports. I guess we got to fast and play sports.
I remember you.
My trainer, he's a very famous coach in Germany. His name is Uli Wegner. He had a lot of world champions like Arthur Abraham and like Sven Ottke, Markus Bayer. They were with me in one team.
Okay.
Like, you know, Arthur Abraham, he came later on, you know. And, you know, like this Uli Wegner, he told this the media. Then the media was very interested. What? He is now fasting and training. How come is this? And then they wrote in the newspaper, and my trainer said, Pierre Vogel is not eating, this Uli Wegner, but in spite of this, he is hitting very, you know, hard like this. You know?
Inshallah, you'll find your way.
Only if we knew Allah, we would truly worship Him.
How can you worship someone you don't even know?
We would love Him, fear Him, and have hope in His mercy.
Wallahi, wallahi, wallahi. And I challenge anyone in the earth, anyone in the world, to tell me one time in their life that they took the means and they put their trust in Allah and Allah let them down.
Only if you knew with Majid Mahmoud in Ramadan, only on Huda TV.
والسلامة والإسلام اللهم أهله علي
إن شاء الله إن شاء الله إن شاء الله you'll find your
Yes, man.
More than 11 hours doubles your risk of major depression as compared to people who typically work an 8-hour day. Hard economic times mean many of us are working more than ever. Double shifts may be good for your bank account, but can come at the expense of your mental health. It's important to watch out for signs of depression. It affects an estimated 1 in 10 Americans. And of course, working long hours is not the only reason people become depressed, but there of course are some ways to de-stress. Don't skip your vacation time, spend quality time with friends and family, and make sure to get enough sleep and exercise. A little bit of leisure can go a long way to a better work-life balance.
I feel all alone. Deep in my heart I know Allah has called you home.
what is the balance between working and worship? Is very simple. That in Ramadan we save our time more than what we would save at any other time. And we go to work and we work as we would, but we work in the best manner. We work, of course, fasting. And after we finish our work, we break fast with our families. We take a rest and then we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Fasting does not affect work negatively. The greatest proof to that is Muslims in the West, for instance, while we're living in America, we fast, we pray Taraweeh and Tahajjud and do i'tikaf and pray Fajr in Jama'ah and attend the halqa after Fajr until Adhkar. Then we go to our clinics, we go to the hospital, we go to our businesses as usual, because we appreciate work. And also in a society where life means work, because if you don't work, you don't live. If you don't work and if you don't earn, you lose your house, you lose your health package, you lose this and this and that. So people have to work. That's why we don't see any contradiction between fasting and working.
You know, it's last year was probably the best Ramadan I had. It was probably good because I prepared myself better this time, because I took time off work. Prior to that, I've always sort of worked through Ramadan, and that was quite difficult, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It was tiring, because there were times when I was falling asleep at work, I'll be honest with you. And you know, the people I work with, they knew for a certain time I would go off in the car and go to sleep.
لا شك أن الصيام والصلاة والتراويح والذكر كله عبادة، لكن أيضا إدخال السرور على المسلم عبادة، العمل من أجل كسب الرزق عبادة، السعي لتغطية احتياجات الأبناء والأسرة والأهل عبادة، صلة الأرحام عبادة، الجلوس للوالدين والتبسط لهما عبادة، السلام على الجار عبادة. مفهوم العبادة أشمل من أن نحصره في إطار الصلاة أو الصيام أو الذكر، مع إجلالنا وتقديرنا لهذه العبادات. وبذلك يستطيع الإنسان منذ أن يصبح إلى أن يمسي وهو في عبادة، بل وهو نائم يتقلب في فراشه يمكن أن يكون في عبادة، وعداد الحسنات يضاف إليه ويظل في نمو بسبب هذه النية الصادقة والنية المحتسبة للأجر من الله عز وجل. فيجب علينا أن نعيد تصحيح موقفنا وفهمنا للعبادة، وأنها ليست مجرد النسك الذي نمارسه، بل هي كل حياتنا. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين.
People think that if I work and I'm just in the office, I can do something for the sake of Islam. You can be righteous, you can be on time, you can be a truthful person and do your work properly with ihsan and ikhlas, and you are serving this deen. Brother Mudathir, you are in the corporate field. What should a corporate person who works in this dunya, works and strives and works 8, 9, 10, 12 hours, as a good Muslim, how does it come with in terms of salah, in terms of Islam? How do they bring the two together?
It's not very difficult in the corporate world. Every time we hear a salah, we excuse ourselves from our managers or the people we work with. We just go do our prayers. It doesn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes. We join them again. We bring in a culture. Each and every time there's a prayer that's announced, we go do our prayers and come back to the office. It doesn't cost anything to the company. It doesn't matter.
We have work, which is an obligation upon us, and then we have our spiritual pillar, which is also an obligation upon us. And then we have other commitments like head of a family and so on. But what we do here at this period, Brother Malik, is that we try to ration our time. The time that we usually give up doing other things, that because you try to see that, you know, this Ramadan is just a month out of 1 year. So you have to maximize your time more on it. So what I do most often is that I go to work so early, and thank God, so our administration is so flexible during this period, and most Muslims go back early during Ramadan.
It is become from 8 to 6 hours.
Okay.
And you know, I'm engineer. We have a construction. Usually, what I am doing usually that I ask my workers. They select. Do you want to work after futur, or you want to work after suhoor? Actually, my labor always select after suhoor till 12 o'clock. They eat suhoor and pray fajr, and then they go to the site.
Yet I know none of us can stay. You'll always be.
A survey by the University of South Australia has found that a third of men and just over 10% of women are working more than 48 hours a week. The university's research also suggests that the idea of more flexible working is not just about providing a better work-life balance. It says the evidence also points to higher productivity, better motivation and increased loyalty among staff.
Whenever you think of something you have to do, don't store it in your prefrontal cortex. Write it down. We call this your inbox. Next, put things from your inbox into a place you know you will look at the right time. This might be your calendar, a shopping list, or in a project folder. Speaking of projects, if a task can't be done without a series of steps, then you need to turn that task into a project by brainstorming every individual step required to complete that project.
This is a very interesting metaphor. The upper hand is the hand which normally gives. When you give in a charity, whose hand is up and whose hand is down? The beggar, his hand is down. And the person who gives, his hand is up. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the hand which gives more than the hand which takes, the hand which gives you in a charity. So that's why we're encouraged to work, we're encouraged to progress in our businesses, but to keep balance. So that no business should take over the time of ibadah or divert us from the time of the prayer or from a duty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to fulfill. Encouraged to progress in our businesses, but to keep balance. So that no business should take over the time of ibadah or divert us from the time of the prayer or from a duty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to fulfill.
You feel so lost and that you're so alone. All you see is night and darkness all around. You feel so helpless, you can't see which way to go. Don't despair and never lose hope, 'cause Allah is always by your side. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.